So today we are starting a new class and we are going to make a few different face expressions during this class. The first one is going to be a laughing face. So this is my reference. I posted this picture on the group, on Facebook group. So just go on Facebook. I will put the link here after. I have to add it here. But you do not need to use this picture as a reference. We're going to talk about smiling in general, and it's not a portrait, so I'm not going to actually try to make that face. It's just a reference for me to see how, because sometimes if you don't have a reference, you keep on changing your smile way too much, and then you take longer than you should. I do have some anatomy to talk about as well, but I don't know if you guys want to get into details. This is a great website, Anatomy for Sculptors. It just goes like basically for what sculptors need to know, so you don't have to go like super deep. And they have an Instagram account as well that's where I got those pictures from. Just go to their Instagram account. Hello, Suzanne. But we're going to show this anatomy as we go, because I know you guys want to start right away, like start with the clay thing. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do. So we're going to go over anatomy, smiling anatomy. I'm going to use a skull. I'm using this size that is a 1 to 7.5 scale. What does that mean? It means that this would be about 24 centimeters body. And the reason that I'm using this skull is because I might go for build the full body for this face on a private class. So it just depends if I will have enough people interested in joining this class. I still haven't decided yet. So I'm using this size, but if you have a bigger one, you can use the bigger ones. If you are a beginner, actually start with the bigger sizes. I do offer the 5 centimeter and a 4.5 centimeter skull, which I also have the eyes on my Etsy shop. This time I prepared a link here for my Etsy shop. So there you go. So you can find the skull and the eyes available there. I will also post the link here later. And the eyes, I'm using those are handmade eyes. I do not offer this size of eyes anymore because it's only possible to make them handmade, and I sold a few of them, but it's too much time consuming for me to make them myself to sell, so I don't offer this size anymore. But I do have a class right here on this channel on how to make eyes, and you can just make your own because those are very small. And I'm going to use polymer clay, which this one that I'm using is the PV Clay brand. You do not need to use the same brand as me, but that's my favorite. It's a Brazilian brand, so it's kind of a bit hard to find in some countries during the COVID time. But any polymer clay will do, okay? And for this clay, it's already prepared because this class is not about, the focus is going to be the face expression, smiling face expression, laughing face expression. Hello, Jewel, I'm good, thank you. And I already added the flocking to the clay. So this is why you can see this skin texture to it. So if you don't know what flocking is and how to add, go to my playlist and click on my Frida Kahlo's classes. And I showed how to do that. And I also have the flockings available on my Etsy shop. And for that skin, I use only magenta and goldenrod. This is usually what I use for fair skin. All right. So any question before we get started? No questions? So let's start. So I'm gonna get a little bit of the skin color here. Hello. Hello, lyrics music. Lyrics in music. Hi, Pam. Hi, Uni. Okay, so I'm going to start by placing the eyes and jaw. And usually I put a little bit of liquid clay to my clay here to make it softer to place the eyes. But I will not today because I didn't prepare that and I don't want to waste time doing that. And it's not super necessary. It's just it makes it easier to place the eyes because it gets a little bit softer and easier to move the eyes around. But she's gonna be laughing and we kind of close our eyes when we laugh, so it's not gonna show that much, so I'm not so concerned about it. So adding or not adding liquid clay to make this clay that goes inside the orbit softer, it's optional, and it really depends on the sculpture. Yes, you can make the face without the skull. You probably will have to shape. You're gonna have more work. Like, I mean, the skull just helps a little bit. But yeah, definitely you can sculpt without the skull. The skull being here just make it easier, faster. If you don't have the right proportions, I also have how to sculpt a face on a playlist on this channel, and you can just check it out, and it talks about the proportions and everything about a face. I also use a skull, but you don't have to. I'm glad to hear that you love the channel. Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman. Hola, Chile. So I have students that prefer to don't add liquid clay to the eyes because they think they have trouble after, because the eyes keep on moving and they have trouble keeping the eyes on the right spot. And like me, I prefer adding liquid clay just so it's easier to put the eyes in the right position to me, and I don't have the problem in keeping them there. So it's really optional, so try it out to see what you prefer. And then we are going to place the eyes over here. Oops, it was stuck to a sponge. And the thing here about placing the eyes, I'm just gonna put looking to the front. There's no reason to look up and down because or sideways, because the eyes are barely going to show. Yes, you can find the skull on my Etsy shop. Here is I'll keep the address behind here so you guys can always, you can't see because it's too small anyway. So just facing front. Hi, Egypt. That's nice. And I'm gonna place the other one as well. So because it's not a portrait, we don't need to worry about how far apart those eyes will be from each other, like Frida and like Sitting Bull. We don't have to measure anything. We're not worried in making this person looking like the picture or a real person. So if you put in the center of the cavity, it's going to be proportional, in the right proportion. So as long as it's inside the cavity is fine. And you also don't need to stick the eyes all the way inside the cavity. It keeps out like that, okay? Not completely inside. You can go in a little bit. I mean, really, some people have the eyes deeper. Some people have the eyes more out. So because we're not doing anyone, there's no commitment in anything here. You just put the eyes the way you want. It really depends on what type of face you want to build. I like to put a little bit in, but not completely in. And this one is looking to the fish, the other one to the cat. So I'm going to pull this one here. Natalie said you wouldn't make it because it's late in Europe right now. But you're here. Excuse me, how can I get, how can I do male eyes with a narrow cut? Sorry, that's too long for me to read on the live chat. It disappear. I have to put more paste on the eye. Yeah, the shape of the eyes, it's with the clay. All the difference, I use the same skeleton for male and female, and whatever I have to do for changing is just adding more or less clay. Like jaw, eyelid. Oh, I'm glad you could make it, but I feel sorry that you're in pain and watching. Anyway, that's good enough. It doesn't need to be perfect. Again, her eyes will barely show, so it doesn't make that much difference. Okay, and now this is another thing that I want to talk about, is about the jaw when we're laughing. We're not going to place the jaw yet. First, we have to build a tongue for her. And I'm going to use the same skin color for the tongue. It's just painted differently after. So you can do as much texture you want for tongue. Sometimes I do like with the big texture. So I'm just going to place it right here. Not too close to the teeth. I'll leave a little bit of a space. I mean, it depends. Some people laugh with it. Like this girl is really almost pretty much touching her teeth. So I guess we can go all the way to the teeth. Let me show her. This is the girl that we're making. I'm making, but I'm not making her face. This is just a reference. Because as I said, people smile, laugh differently. And if we don't have a reference, I at least usually keep on changing and never, for example, if I'm making a person without any reference, and then I'm making lips, and then I never know, am I gonna make like triangle, cupid arch, and I'm gonna go rounded, and I'm gonna do big lips, small lips. So I always get in so much doubt that I end up taking much longer than if I have a reference and I already like that face and I kind of go for it without worrying too much. So not a portrait, but a reference. I'm just gonna place it in there. And we can keep it here to the back. Doesn't matter, we're gonna need this anyway to get our jaw stuck. Okay, and this is the thing about making smile now. We need to keep this open. And how much opened? I just press in and the clay itself held in spot. But how much open are we gonna keep it? It depends. Depends on what type of smile you will do. Are you gonna do a giant big smile with the lips super open? Are you gonna do just a tiny little bit? And that's why it's always good to have a reference. So she has her mouth quite open. You can see the space between the bottom teeth and the upper teeth. And it's kind of like that. I want to make her like laughing a lot. And this is where some people will have trouble in here to keep the jaw in spot. So there are a few things you can do here. We can start putting clay inside or in between here, the jaw and the cheeks. Right there. I mean, there's different techniques, different ways to go. And you can actually bake before you go ahead to make your face. So you bake the skull with the jaw already placed. I usually just use clay for sculpting for fixing my jaw to my skull. But if your clay is too soft, then they have trouble. So you can bake it, and then it's just gonna stay in there. I mean, as long as you build up enough, and you can always, I don't like to bake mine. I like to keep mine soft. So, I mean, not soft, but on a firm, I'm using a firm clay, and then it allows me to change my mind, because I'm a sculptor that change my mind a lot. I often change my mind, so I want a little bit more open, and if it's baked, then I can't really do it. So I'm just putting clay here. I will have to mark this out later for the jaw, but right now I just want it to be fixed. Hello? Are you guys still there? My screen turned a little bit darker. Looks like, feels like there was a sort of a change in here. How can you soften your hard clay? You can use liquid clay. So this is my polymer clay gel from PV clay. They call it gel, but you can use liquid clay. Is the same thing. It's just how they name it, and then you can find every brand name it different, but it's the same thing. It's polymer clay on a liquid form of it. Just don't use Bond and something like that, Sculpt, because that's not liquid clay. This is something else. Okay, and that's it. So she's ready to smile. If you have trouble in painting, you can also add some clay, and if you're gonna bake, you can also add some clay and already paint teeth and gums, or you can paint, or you can put a little bit of clay and shape it. It's really up to you. My jaw is not very straight after, but it's okay. She can laugh a little bit. How do you call it? Cricket smile? I don't know. So yeah, her eyes are still not looking to the same spot. It's bothering me a little bit. So when it's just a tiny little bit, it doesn't bother me, but it shouldn't be bothering me because it's probably not even going to show. But there you go. It's good enough. Okay, so we have our skull now ready to receive skin. Any question here? It's pretty easy for now, right? No big deal, no big mystery. Hello. So now I am just open my clay a little bit thinner. I think I didn't open on the thinner option on my pasta machine. Let me get a little bit farther. There we go. And I don't need all this clay. I'm gonna get a little bit out of here. There we go. So just open a little bit more. And we can already place on our skull. Same thing that I always do. You guys see on my videos, you guys see on my Frida Kahlo class and all of my classes that are available here, that I just add skin to the skull. And again, the bigger concern here is don't let air in between the skull and the clay. Make sure that all the air is getting out. So if this is too hard for you, you can fill up those spots in here to be sure that it will not have air inside. You can fill up before you put your clay, like I did with Frida, but you don't have to. Just keep on pressing, making sure there's no air. So everything is the same until now, except that we opened her jaw. Nothing else changed. And this is with this technique of using the skull. Okay, now we are going to have a hole in here, but that's okay to have air in there because it's going to be open and the air is going to be able to escape when we bake. So why are you so concerned about not letting air? So I don't know if you guys watched my previous classes, because polymer clay have to be baked, and once it's in the oven, the air wants to expand, and if there's no way out, it will give moonies or little small bubbles, like trying to, or it can crack as well, crack your clay. So that's why you don't want to have air in between something, in between your clay in general. But on here we can, because the air will have where to escape from, so it won't crack your sculpture. And once I reach the jaw here, you can just you can cut this, or you can keep on going in like that to hold your skull better. You can even keep it like that so you have where to hold the clay. It doesn't matter where to hold your skull in. So again, if you are a beginner, start with a bigger skull. Don't go as small as me. The technique is the same, nothing changes. You're going to be doing exactly what I'm doing in this size, and you can just pick your own size. Okay, there you go. Sometimes, because I didn't bake mine, maybe my jaw will be closer to the more closed. I don't know how to say that in English. But anyway, might not be as open as I want anymore, but it's okay because it's not baked, so we can always reopen the jaw. Okay? My skulls are made out of resin. They do not melt in the oven, not in the temperature that we need to bake polymer clay. They do release gases that are toxic, so we don't. Some people use the same oven that they cook. I don't like to, because I have little kids and I don't like chemicals, so I prefer having my own oven to bake because of the resin, and polymer clay as well. I don't like baking in the same oven. So what I'm doing here is just marking down my skull so I can see better through my clay, because I need to find the eyes, and I put a little bit of a thicker skin here, but it's still possible to see, and we can always dig in to find too. But I kind of want to see the shape of the skull still, and I want to see where I put the eyes. See? If you go with a thinner layer of skin, you won't need to do any of that. You'll be able to see pretty clear. And you also will be able to see more of a gap in here, which we can fill up later. It doesn't matter. Okay? All right. Now, do you guys want to learn a little bit about anatomy before we keep on going? Because I never know what you're expecting, what you prefer. If you want to learn, like, what happened to the muscles, or if you are not interested on that, you just want to put your hands on clay and sculpt and practice. So I'm never so sure. I'll do fast, okay? Just like a very fast. Let's check out what happens when we smile. Okay, so let's just do fast, okay? You can find, like, you don't need to, for being like to sculpt, you don't really need to know all the muscles on the face and all of that, all the names of it, but it's always good to know. I'm not gonna go through all of that, but I do have a pretty good image here. I can post that on the group if you guys want. That shows all the muscles on the face and their names, and also show the fat pads here, because we don't have just the muscles, right? So you have to know, kind of know both. So, well, you don't have to know if it's optional. I mean, it's better if you do. the more understanding you have of the anatomy, the easiest and faster you will sculpt and get to the final results. But it's not like you can just observe and do it as well. You're gonna get somewhere. It's really, each artist have its own process. And what I mean is, if you don't like studying that part, is okay. You can practice and you find your way through it. Okay, yeah, I will post this reference on the group. I just Googled it. It's just on Google. So this is like the basic, simpler thing that it's from Anatomy for Sculpture as well. I got those pictures from their Instagrams because I'm not allowed to share whatever they didn't make it public. But I also have their book. It's very good. So when we smile, we use pretty much the zygomatic major. I don't know how to say that in English, but I think it's a major. That is this muscle right here that pulls our lips more out. So it goes out, up, and back at the same time. Okay, so we're not using just this one, but this one is the main one, because this is what is going to pull in this direction. See, so that's the main one. And the malar fat pad, that is this one, also will shrink. Okay, so this is the main thing that it's used, but there are a lot of other things that happen, and it also varies of what type of laughing you are giving. So if you give a small one, it won't be changing as much as if you give like she is giving a very big laugh. She's even shrinking the nose, and it's a very big one, so it's very tight in here. If you're giving a smaller laugh, you will not tight your fat pad as much as that, because you're not pulling the muscle as much as that. So, but usually those are the main things that happen. This one is a great image here. Unfortunately, it's very hard for you guys to read here, but I will explain kind of what happens. Let me go a little bit, zoom in right here in the image. So this is basically talking about the main things that happens when you smile. So this is serious and this is smiling. So here it says number 1, the corner of the mouth is pulled, like I said, laterally, back, and upwards. Okay, so what does that mean? That the muscle here is pulling to the back, up, and to the sides. If you look to the front, to the sides, like that. Okay, number 2, where's number 2? This is even hard for me to see. Where's the number 2 is here, is the cheeks bulging outward and raising up. So it's not in camera here. So this is what I mentioned about the cheeks. So it's when you're serious, your cheeks, this is bigger, longer, and not as out here. So when you laugh, you will shrink that, bringing it up, and eventually when you bring it up, you also bring it out, right? It gets puffy here. And that's gonna cause a big wrinkle in here as well. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, where's number 3? Here. Number 3, nasolabial folds become prominent. Okay, so you can see the difference from here and here. This is going to go, and that also depends on the person. Like each people will have it a little bit different. So some people will have more volume over here. But anyway, it doesn't matter the person. It will change direction here. It will go more towards here and in a little bit, like pressed. Number 4, the lower eyelid pops out. So yes, we don't laugh just with our mouth. When we laugh, we change all our face. And for everybody, it doesn't matter the different person. Everyone will tight their eyes, and the more you laugh, the more you tight your eyes. So this go up, the eyes shrink, and this will pop out. The lower eyelid here pop out. Okay, and usually you will change the upper lid as well. It's not mentioned in here, but because this is the main thing. All right, number 5. Where's number 5? I can't barely see. Here, number 5. Inferior orbital space will reduce. Yes, so because you are shrinking the cheeks, and this the eyelid will pop out, the space between the two of them will shrink, will reduce this space here. So that's just what talking about on number 5. Number 6, the crow's feet appear, so you'll get wrinkles on your eyes because you're tightening your eyes as well. And the space between the nose and the upper lip gets shorter. So as you can see here, it's longer. You will bring it up. You will shorten here. And the wings of the nose will open, wide and lift up. Okay? So those are the 8 main things that happen with everyone. But there are also a few things that happen with different people. So for example, here, the tip of our nose also changes a little bit, goes down. Some people goes a lot, some people goes less. This also shows the side view of it. So this is the upper lip goes shorter and also gets in here a little bit. And that's basically it. Here it shows the lips goes and spread out in this direction. So up, sideways, and back. The eyes here rise up. No, this is the cheeks rise up, and the eyes goes in, and you tighten your eyes. So this happens to everyone. But again, some people will have bigger cheeks, and it will tighten more, and it also depends on how you laugh. Some people, when they laugh, they really raise this area, and it goes all the way up here. Some people doesn't raise their upper lip as much. So it really depends, but you guys understood the main process when we laugh and the difference from serious to laughing. Okay, so remember, if you just work on lips, it won't work. You have to work on the full face to get a smile. Okay? Any questions before we can keep on going? This is basically what I'm going to go for anatomy. We don't need much more than that. I mean, we don't need more than that. You just need to understand those, and that's it. Any question? No questions? I never know if you guys don't have any question, or if it's because my video is a little bit on delay and it will take a little bit for you guys to hear me and answer me. I'm never so sure. So let me check my live chat, or if YouTube is not showing me the answers, because sometimes they don't. Oh yes, favor my Etsy shop. I would love that. Okay, so I think all good. You like the overview? All right, great. So now let's cut this smile. For cutting the smile, you can already cut all the way where you want the smile to be, or you can just cut in the center, because we're gonna have to work on that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just open the mouth and we will work on the rest after. So I'm just gonna cut here, and I want to see what's inside, right? And I have to be careful with the tongue, so to don't destroy, because I didn't bake mine. I think I already destroyed. But that's okay, I'll rebuild it. No, I didn't destroy. So I'm just gonna start opening so I can see what's under. Oh yes, I definitely mess up my tongue a little bit. I actually forgot that I didn't bake my skull. And I'm going to start cutting. I'm not giving a smile yet. I'm just opening the mouth so I can see what's underneath. And then I can start working on it, cleaning up a little bit. See, it released from the chin a little bit. That's okay. I just need to see what's going on under. And I'm opening up. enough for me to see. Cleaning up. This clay is very cracking. Sometimes I get this. Sometimes it happens like that. I don't know if it's the mix or what it is. And I'm gonna cut a little bit higher here because I don't need all this clay. So you can cut with a knife or you can go with your tool. I want to show the teeth. That's enough. That's enough for now. Okay, I just need to open up and see what's happening underneath so I can be guided by what's underneath there. All right, that's good enough. Now I'm going to go make sure that I will settle the clay touching the jaw again. And there. We also will have to work on this, but slowly. And now I'm gonna cut the eyes. It always looks like an alien at the beginning. It will get there. So same thing, I just want to cut and find my iris so I know where everything is. Can you guys see it? I can already see it in there. There you go. And I'm pressing in. I'm using this tool, but you can use a ball tool to press it in, just to keep on following the eyeball shape. Remember I said that on Frida. You press this in and you press this in, so you keep the clay around the eyeball, because if you look in this direction, the eyelid has a rounded shape because it's following the eyeball. Same thing with the bottom one. We can't let the clay pop out and be separated from the eye, so you can go around your eyeball. So press here backwards and here backwards. All right, there you go. Same thing here, you can cut first and press after, or you can press first and cut after. There's no rule. All we are doing now is finding the eye. Oh, I don't speak this language. And I'm gonna try to cut in the same height of here. But also we don't need to worry so much, because when we laugh this way, sometimes we press one side more than the other. It's pretty common actually, so it doesn't need to be all symmetrical. People usually don't smile, don't laugh the same in both sides. So I'm pressing in here, pressing here. And we don't need to open the eyes a lot, but if you want to open just to find your eyes, that's fine. You can. I don't know, I think everything turns so easy with the skull. Look at that. Like, okay, it looks like an alien, but at least it's already a laughing alien. So it's pretty good. Now we just have to make it human. And then we're done. Give it a nose and it will be human. I'm joking, there's more to do, but let's keep on going. Okay, so now we can press this to mark around the eyes. Keep on going down here. See, I open one eye much more than the other. So I'm gonna open this one too a little bit. All right, there you go. So we have a laughing alien here. Any question? Just cleaning up here the clay while I wait for you guys to ask. Any doubt, any question? Are you guys sculpting along with me? Or are you just watching, most of you? Because I think I sculpt a little bit too fast for a beginner to sculpt along with me. So if you are a beginner, rewatch the video, take your time. The video will be here. I won't delete, so it's gonna be available here for you to watch as many times as you need, and pause it, take your time, watch more. I'm sure you will get somewhere. Oh my gosh, I don't speak your language. I'm so sorry. I wish I could speak all the languages. Okay? All right, so. Oh, use chocolate. I don't even know how you guys do chocolate. Okay, so I won't worry about going too fast. So now is the nose. So I'm going to place a little nose in here. All right, I know, Natalie. So I'm just gonna put a little nose in there. She's gonna be shrinking her nose, so you don't need too long. I mean, again, you can always change that. Doesn't need to be exactly like hers. Where's my tool? Right here. I hope my tool is clean. Try to clean it, but I've been using for epoxy clay, and sometimes it gives me gray things on my clay. I should get more. My husband have a fill of those. I should have one for each. My husband owns the store, so he's the one that takes care of the skulls and all of that. I don't do that part. I just develop the product, and he's the one that takes care of it, that makes the skulls. So I should go steal some tools from my store. So I'm just putting a little triangle and blending in with the clay just to have some volume here. I didn't shape it. I just placed in there. Okay. Just blending all in, just to have a start of a nose. All right, second thing, now I'm going to cut the this. You can either cut or pull it up. Yes, this is available on my store. It is. You guys made me. Everybody wanted it, so I made it available to my store. Actually, I had a smaller one, but I lost it, so I've been using just a bigger one. So you can either cut, if you have too much clay, you can cut this to go higher, or remember that this shortens, so you can just pull it up as well. So just roll up until you show enough teeth. I'm gonna have to cut mine, otherwise it's gonna be too separated from the teeth here. And you don't want, we can't bring this part too much high here, because remember that it also goes back when we laugh. So you have to go up, but it also pulls back. So you can't build this area too much, okay? Yeah, good alien. Let me show you guys this here again. So here, remember, we can't build up too much in here, because when we laugh, this go up, but it also goes to the back. All right, so there's way too much clay in here for me to keep on bringing just up, so I'm gonna cut, because I want to show more teeth than that. She's pretty much showing all her teeth and a little bit of the gums, so I'm gonna cut here. There we go. That's better already. Now I'm gonna press this down a little bit. because it's too much build it up. Maybe the nose is also going too much to the out. I have to reduce this nose a little bit, but that's okay. I didn't shape anything, so I'm gonna start by giving a better shape to the upper lip here, just to give me a better idea. All right. And there's also something else that cause a lot of mistakes. I do use magnificent. I'm not wearing right now because I can't see to wear them. I have to bring the sculptor much closer to my face, and pretty much where my glasses would have to be pretty much where my cell phone is, so it's not possible to wear them when I'm recording or showing you guys. It's hard when I'm live and I have to show the camera. Also, something that happens is be careful to don't completely get your lips stuck, especially to the side of your mouth. This is something that always give trouble. Some people have, depending on the person you're making, some people, and if the laugh is not huge, there's a big space in here. So this way, it goes out like that, depending on the laugh. So pay attention to that detail. This girl keeps her laugh, it's bringing pretty close to the teeth. So if you want to make a laugh like that, then you can keep it in. It depends. Like people, as I said, people smile differently. But Bob Marley, for example, keeps his smile like has a big space in here, separating the lip from the teeth. I'm just cleaning up this area here. This is the hardest area for that people makes more mistake is this area here, and we're gonna have to work on. Even for me, it's the harder part for me is this area, and I will explain why. Right now, I'm not making it. I'm just kind of pulling back and not allowing to pull in. This is I'll explain now. Oi, Daniel, salve Brasil. The thing is, what makes it hard, especially if you're working with a softer clay to make smile, it's complicated because once you want to shape this area here and you want to give it a shape, the clay will be pulled in and it's going to cause a big bump in like that, and that's going to be weird. You don't want that to happen. You want to keep the lip here going out. You don't want to go in and then out. So this is the hardest part because of that, because when you try to shape here, look what happened. You pull this in, and you don't want that. You want it to be out. So if accidentally you pull it in, make sure to bring it out again, to keep on bringing this out. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is people tend to try to make a lip shape in here, which is facing out. I mean, try to keep, I'll get a picture here. People try to keep the lip in this area here with the same curves that when you are serious, but it doesn't happen that when you laugh here, this gets stretched and it's kind of like lay down. So look, it's stretched down. So when you try to sculpt, instead of trying to curve to do a shape here, just go like that, flat on the top, and that's gonna make it better. Something else is when you reach up here, when you reach the division, you can give it a little bit of a mark, bringing the lower part here in, and this one a little bit out. So that will help you to make a proper smile. I exaggerated here so you guys can understand, and then you just have to smooth it all out, and again make sure to pull that out again because it's going to go in, and keep on working on that. Okay, so I'm just going to blend in this right here, and now we have to do, we didn't really do a lot of details yet. We're pretty much giving it a basic shape, and then we're going to work on details later. Okay, so I think this one, you have to look in this direction too to see if it's symmetrical. Again, it doesn't need to be super symmetrical because we don't smile or laugh symmetrically. And I'm going to fill up here a little bit more. I pulled too much to the back, so I'm going to bring more clay here. It was too deep, the cut, so I'm just bringing more clay here. And I don't like to make serious people when I make sculptures. I always like to give face expressions. Always, always, always. That's what gives them life. Like, for busts, it's okay to do serious, and especially if you're making a portrait of someone that usually often takes serious pictures. But I always prefer to give face expression. Yes, and it's like, I mean, we didn't do a lot, but now we just need to work on the details that I mentioned on the anatomy, and that's it. You have a smile. So now I'm gonna work on the bottom lip. So I'm just removing all the cracks for now, making sure that it's smooth so I can see what is happening. And again, I can't have all this volume here. See, this is too much. I mean, there are people that have very, how to say, volumosos? I forgot the name. Big lips, but when we laugh, again, we're pulling those muscles to the back. So this also will reduce. Again, same thing that happened to the bottom one, to the top one will happen to the bottom one. Look. It doesn't happen as much because we pull this one more, but this one also loses volume because it's pulling, it's being pulled. So if you keep it too big, it's not gonna look like it's a big laugh. You have to lose volume here. Okay, so there are different techniques to lose volume. You can just press and pull, or you can cut, or do whatever you feel like doing to take this volume out. Once you understand what have to happen, the way that you reach that doesn't really matter. It's really personal. Some people prefer to cut, some people prefer to pull, and all of them will work as long as you don't have a lot of volume over here. Okay? So as you guys could see, I am just pressing in and down. So I'm getting a bigger chin, which I have to fix that after, because I'm pulling my volume down. Okay. It's good enough. Keep on opening this. You don't want a curve in there. Not a big one at least. But I think I brought mine too out. I will have to bring it closer. This is detail. We'll work on details after. Okay? All right, let me just fix this chin a little bit so we can still see a face here. Oh my gosh, 53 minutes already. Okay, I'm gonna work on the nose. It's too up here. Poof! No, doesn't go that up. So I'm gonna go down a little bit. Again, you can just cut or you can pull, doesn't matter. As long as you reduce this volume. Too much, that's better. And here, after the forehead, the nose starts right in the eye line here, the center of the eye. This is the beginning of the nose. Here, it's already going to the forehead, so you have to bring this in, like this, and start going out to reach the forehead. So that's the profile that you want to have. Okay, there's a little curve in here. You can't just bring the nose all the way to the forehead. There's a separation here. Okay. This is going to make when you give a shape and you press in, you're going to bring the clay somewhere, so you'll spread out. Okay, we will reduce that by removing it. Okay, so you could just cut the volume as well so it wouldn't spread out. But that's fine because we don't have an eye shape yet, so it's okay. And just remove from here. I want to at least have a basic shape of the smile today, and then next week we keep on going. The problem is this clay is dried, it might get cracking next week. Okay, and I'm going to, again, remember the nostrils wild a bit and goes up. Hers, she is shrinking her nose a lot, so her nostrils are going really up. Her nose is shorter, because she's really bringing this up, and then she got wrinkles over here for shrinking her nose. But that's not like, you don't need to do that if you are not making a person that laugh this way. It really, that's how she does, and the amount that she's laughing. So that's my reference, and I posted this picture on the group as well. So remember, people laugh differently. You can use your own reference. If your reference is not laughing that much, it's okay. Then don't bring the nose so up. Don't give it the wrinkles, and that's fine too. All right, so I'm going to just give it a start of a nostril here, and bring it up, but I will probably change that. This is very basic here. And I'm gonna mark the wings right there. Oh, but how large is the wings of the nose? Like, how thick can it be? It also depends on who you're making. We're not making a portrait. On the proportion is about the same. Like, it's if you go down here, it matches the corner of your eye. The inner corner of your eyes matches the end of your wings here. But she is laughing, so it's a little bit wild because of the laugh. So it can go a little bit away from that, and we still don't have the corner of the eye marked down, so it's just to have an idea. Okay, right there, and I'm gonna mark it here. So that's a sketch. We're not really marking yet. It's a basic sketch to give us an idea. Okay, once we do that, let's mark down this wrinkle, and this is going to give us a lot. So I'm going to remove this volume here, and I'm going to mark down a big wrinkle here from shrinking the fat pad. Fixing the shape a little bit of everything. Just giving wrinkles here, but that's not definitely, it's just to give me an idea. And I'm going to smooth this out. I didn't give the volumes, proper volumes to the cheeks. I didn't tight the eyes, didn't make eyelids, anything yet. So I'm just basically smoothing this out so I can have a better view of everything. There we go. And look at that. She's already happy, kind of like screaming happy, or we're gonna get there. It still looks weird because it's pretty much just a big open mouth, and you can see, we still can't see the happiness yet, because we don't have the eyes happy, we don't have a lot of details here. All right, I like to keep the classes 1 hour, so I'm gonna stop here today. The reason that I like to keep for 1 hour is that I think bigger than 1 hour is a bit tiring and too long for YouTube. For private lessons it could go longer, but for YouTube is a little bit too long, more than 1 hour, and I have my kids home. We are under lockdown still. I'm getting my vaccines soon. I'm already scheduled. I mean, I'm waiting for a phone call to schedule the date, but I already registered. And hopefully pretty soon this lockdown will be over here. But for now, my kids are home all the time, and I don't like to be away for more than an hour. Have to cook dinner, have to do housewife stuff. But we have that for today. Nothing really a big deal yet. I will take a picture, post on the group. If you don't know what group I'm talking about, go on Facebook and type Juliana LePine online student group online. Oh my gosh, help me out. I don't remember. Let me go on my computer. I always do that. I forget my social medias, addresses and names. Okay, I'll tell you right now, Juliana LePine online classes student. I will post a link on this video description after. I will edit and post Etsy, where to get the skull, my group. This is just dirtiness that I'm cleaning here. And then you can get the picture of that, phase 1 of a laughing face. Still pretty funny. And yes, so just join the group. You can also post your pictures on the group. Please post your first pictures of this phase, first class pictures phase, and then we'll see what happened for next one. And also you can ask for help in the group. You can ask for help, my help or the students' help, and it's a pretty cool group, and it can be even better if you guys participate more. The more you participate, the more fun the group and helpful the group will be. Okay, so this is what we have for today. I think we cover a big amount of laughing face, and I hope to see you guys next Tuesday, same time, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 5 to 6 around. And again, before I go, do you guys have any question or you want to say anything before I finish this live and this class? Thank you for coming, Suzanne. No questions? Que chévere esta la escultura. Chévere. Yo no sé qué significa chévere. Esto es una clase para aprender a hacer un rostro sonriendo. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, Larry. Thanks for coming. Gracias. Qué bueno. Well, so doesn't seem to have questions. If you guys have any question after this class and you weren't live or I didn't read here, please go to the group, Facebook group, and post your question over there. If I always do my best to answer everybody, but if I don't, my students also tag me, and some of my students already know the answer and they will help. Okay? Polymer clay. You can go to my Amazon front store as well. Just put Juliana LePine Sculptures on Amazon, and I linked every product that I use. If I don't sell, it will be linked in there from other sellers, and just to help you to find. There's polymer clay online. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy in different places. You can buy on local stores, like craft stores will hold them, or sculpting stores. All right, so that was very good. I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed a lot to be here with you. I always do. And Have a great night for me. Evening, night. I don't know where you are. But anyway, bye bye. Hope to see you guys next Tuesday.